everyone. It is 10:01. I'm sure we're expecting a few more people to trickle in, but we are going to begin anyway. Um, Thank you for joining us today for strategies for the TBL and dual language math classroom. I'm Erica Flores. I'm a resource specialist at the Long Island L.I.RBERN. And before we get started, I just want to share a few things with you if you are new to our webinars. This is our website, and we invite you to join our listserv if you haven't already, and follow on Twitter. And you can also subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel, where you can find recordings of past webinars and instructional snapshots. This includes past webinars that Susanne has done for us, which lend themselves great to the dual language classroom. And at this time, I want to invite everyone to please sign into the chat using your first name, last name, district, and title, so we can confirm attendance and provide CTLE credit. And so today we have Susanne Pena here with us to share her expertise. She has been an educator in the K-12 setting for K-20 setting for over 16 years. She started her career as a teacher in Title I schools in the New York City Department of Education. She served as district coordinator here on Long Island for Amityville Union Free School District. She also served as an instructional coach, supervisor, and evaluator of bilingual and ENL teachers at Amityville School District, and was the dual language program coordinator at PSIS 180M in Harlem, New York. Ms. Pena also held the position of adjunct instructor at Brooklyn College for bilingual and multicultural education. I know some of her former students have joined us here. And she is also the former director and project manager of the Dual Language STEPS grant at the University of Central Florida. Now, currently, she is the lead consultant at SMP Education Consulting and is pursuing her doctorate in adult education at the Kansas State University. So without further ado, Susanne, welcome, and I invite you to please take over the screen.
I will. All right. Let's get started. Let me move this here. And we're going to go here. There we go. Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. I am so excited to be back and working with the L.I.RBERN and presenting. I'm really excited about today. We have a lot of strategies and resources to share with you for both in English and in Spanish and other languages. There are other languages that I will mention as well. But these are just, like I always say, good teaching is good teaching. And these are strategies that you can use in any math classroom. It doesn't have to be a transitional bilingual or a dual language classroom in particular. So let's get started. Hopefully if this works. I always have trouble with this, right? Because it doesn't let me. There we go. See, it always does that. So as Erica mentioned, my name is Susanne Pena, and here is my contact information. If you need or have any questions after this webinar that you're like, oh my goodness, I wish I would have asked that during the webinar, that's fine. Please go ahead and shoot me an email. If I don't respond, go ahead and send me another one. Say, hey, Susanne, you forgot about me. It's no problem. I also have my website, have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we also launched a YouTube channel as well. So if you need me to go back to this, not a problem, just put it in the chat and we will send you this, the contact information as well. And just a couple of housekeeping items and reminders. Make sure to leave your video on if you can. We love to see your awesome faces. Don't worry about the mess that you may have. I have one of my own. It's just that I'm hiding it. Whatchamacallit, just put one of those like Zoom backgrounds. That's always a good idea. Please mute your mic when you're not speaking. Also, we will be, if you have a question, go ahead, either use the icon to raise your hand or put it in the chat box. Erica will be monitoring those, and we'll pause throughout the entire presentation if you have any questions or comments. Participation is key. So a little bit different than a webinar, than a in-person workshop, a webinar, really is successful with participation. So through the chat box, you don't have to actually go ahead and unmute your mic if you don't want to share that way, but participation is key. So if you want to put it in the chat box or just let us know if you have any comments, questions, or whatnot, please do so. We encourage participation. And we'll be using, as I mentioned, we'll be using the chat box to ask and answer questions, as well as you can unmute yourself if you need to ask a question or use the raise your hand icon. And those, I think, Erica, we can go ahead and kind of note where it's at, the raise your hand icon, so that they know, just in case. It's on the toolbox with Zoom. If I'm not mistaken, it's on the participants. That is where you can find it, right, Erica? I said that one right? Right, it's on the participants, right? Caitlin just she agrees with me. Okay, I'm good. The coffee's working. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you for for letting me know. All right, so it is on the participants little button, so you can go there. And so today we have goals for this webinar. Again, this is going to be, I don't have all the answers, and we're going to be sharing. Sharing is caring, right? So we're going to build and add onto our pedagogical toolbox in regards to math. We're going to explore learning tool strategies available for TBE programs and DO classrooms, and we're going to learn from each other. I think that that's important, because if you have used one of these tools or one of these strategies, hey, sharing how you have implemented it in your classroom is key, because a way that I can share may not be the right way for a colleague to use it in their classroom. You might have a better strategy. So sharing is caring, like I mentioned before. So when it comes to bilingual education, regardless of the program that you have in your building, I always take it back to the guiding principles of dual language education. If you have not attended one of my webinars before, I strongly encourage that you download the free copy of the Principles for Dual Language Education. This is applicable to any bilingual program, and it gives you pointers, and it gives you ideas as to what should be in your dual language or TBE program. So I always say it, I wish it would say guiding principles for / bilingual education, because as I mentioned before, good teaching is just good teaching. Doesn't matter. Oh, and before I forget, if you haven't done so already, you can download a free copy. It's an electronic copy. You can download it at the CAL, C-A-L, at their website, the Center for Applied Linguistics. They have the free electronic version. Now, if you want a hard copy, you would have to pay, but there is the free version that you can get electronically. And I take it back based on the principles of dual language education. I take it back to the 3 pillars of dual language or / bilingual education. And it's biliteracy and bilingualism, high academic achievement, and social cultural competence. And if we guide ourselves, if we guide our instructional practices off of these 3 pillars, we're on good track. I often say that even if you base it off of the last pillar, I feel like last but not least, the social cultural competence, everything else kind of falls into place. So this can be if you're writing up your lesson plans, or thinking of a strategy, or incorporating something into your lesson. You can go and say, hey, does it fit? Does it meet those social cultural competency expectations? Does it meet high academic achievement? Does it meet the goal of bilingualism and biliteracy, regardless of whether it's a TBE or DL classroom? If it doesn't meet any of these, you know what? Maybe we should save it for another day. And that is very important. That should be your guide, especially in a bilingual education classroom. So what is our focus? ¿Cuál es el enfoque de hoy? So as many of my other webinars and sessions, I will be conducting this session in both English and in Spanish. Now, with that being said, I will be jumping back and forth. I'm going to be doing English, Spanish, and Spanglish. So a little bit of everything, right? If you find it that I'm going a little bit too fast or you miss something or whatnot, please let us know, because then that way, you know, like I always said, I already had 2 cups of Bustelo. So if anybody that drinks Bustelo knows what that means, yeah, I could go on hyperdrive right about now. So if I go too fast, just let us know and say, hey, slow down, cógelo con take it easy, and I will put the brakes on it and go over it, okay? Así que vamos a empezar en español. El enfoque del día de hoy, ¿cuál es el enfoque de hoy? Pues nos vamos a enfocar en la matemática. Obviamente en la matemática, cómo enseñar la matemática en el salón, un salón bilingüe, ya sea de un salón que sea transicional o un salón que sea de lenguaje dual, ¿verdad? No importa qué tipo de salón, un salón bilingüe, pues el enfoque va a ser cómo enseñamos la matemática. Vamos a enfocarnos en ciertas estrategias, al igual que ciertas herramientas que podemos utilizar en el salón de clases, que pues nos van a ayudar a que nuestros estudiantes pues salgan con éxito, especialmente cuando nos enfocamos en los 3 pilares, que es el bilingüismo, ¿verdad? Ser exitosos académicamente, ¿verdad? Y pues el enfoque sociocultural. Bueno, preguntita para el día de hoy, ¿ok? Y entonces aquí vamos a preguntar y les voy a pedir que por favor en la pantalla, en el chat, ustedes puedan poner cuál es el porcentaje. Y la pregunta para empezar hoy, ¿cuál es el porcentaje de tiempo en el cual ustedes se enfocan en enseñar lenguaje, ¿ok? Explícitamente en una lección de matemática? So, in English, what percentage of the time do you teach language in your math lessons? So, so if we look at it, what percentage of time do you do that? Okay. And be honest, it's okay. We're not gonna be like, oh my goodness, that's wrong or whatever. We're gonna talk a little bit about this. So Erica's gonna be my wonderful assistant, and she's gonna let me know what are your responses.
So the responses are varying, anywhere from 15% to 100% right now. So we are really all over the place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm seeing lots and lots of numbers that vary right now.
And so that's okay, and that's perfectly fine. What I want to bring is a little consciousness to make sure that if you're not doing it all the time, hey, do it all the time, okay? And if you are doing it all the time, great, continue that track. And that's basically what we're going to do today. So we're going to focus on that first off. So the very important thing about in a bilingual or dual language classroom, in a transitional bilingual or dual language classroom, is language. And why is that, right? Because if we think about it, right, Spanish, let's say for argument purposes, we're going to use Spanish as a target language. If we say, okay, we have our ELA block, right? We have, let's say, science, we do it in English, and then we do maybe something else in English, and then we only break it down to SLA, right, Spanish language arts, and then we do maybe one content area, right? Let's say that that's our schedule. Outside of that, the possibilities that a student is really coming into contact with academic language in a content area in that target language is very unlikely. Even if they're in a household where they speak Spanish, right, that target language, the conversations that are going on are not likely to be, you know, talking about math, talking about science, talking about social studies, right? So the importance about this is that we make sure that that we maximize the time that we are exposing our students to the target language, and we have to also give them the opportunity to be exposed to content area. And a lot of times what I have seen in my experience as I have evaluated many dual language programs and transitional bilingual programs is that they do fantastic up to fifth grade. Then after fifth grade, it kind of everything crumbles. Okay. And the reason I see some smiles and some smirks because you know that this is the fact. Okay. They do fantastic, and oh my goodness, the kids are doing beautifully. But as they get older, right? And we say, hey, somebody has a brilliant idea, which is fantastic. Let's have a transitional bilingual. Let's have a dual language classroom in middle school or in high school. Then we find out that the kids don't really know how to handle life sciences or earth sciences or biology or, calculus in Spanish. They can't. And the reason for that is because we have just we've set the scenario and we've just left it. A lot of times we just leave it at that big. And very, very often as the kids grow older, we kind of forget about that CALPS, that academic language in the target language. And we forget about that. So what I'm going to encourage you today is actually make sure that you're teaching language even when you're doing math or science or social studies, any of the content areas. It is so, so, so important. And some of the things that we focus on in ELA, we do this every day, right? We need to do it as well when we're teaching math, okay? And especially if we're doing it in the target language. So having things like word walls and word banks, which I'm sure you all have, right? But making sure that these are not like words that I put up there from September or August, right? Down in Florida where I'm at. The school starts in in August, so I got to shift my mindset sometimes. So so sometimes we put the words there, and then the same words that we put in September are still there in June. And not to say that that's not bad, but it doesn't make a correlation to what students are studying or what they need, right? So making sure that these word walls are interactive, that they're word banks that have to do with the lessons that students are doing is very, very important. That we don't have a word bank that we created for a lovely unit, but that unit was 5 months ago. And the chart is still hanging up, right? And why are we doing, what's the educational purpose of that? Okay, that's what we have to really think. All right, so the next one that I always encourage is the same way that we always focus with ELA, and we do this because these are just good teaching practices, right? We focus on our tier 2 words, we focus on our tier 3 words when it comes to English. But hey, did you know that we also have tier 2 words in Spanish, right? Those of you that were in my webinar on last week, right, with that for science, we talked about this. Those are palabras polisémicas. And palabras polisémicas, right, they have various meanings depending on the context. So the same thing that we do in English, we have to do it in the target language. And in Spanish, we have palabras polisémicas, and we have to make sure that we teach those as well, especially if we are in a TBE or a DO classroom. In a DO classroom, of course, we know that because we have students that, whose home language is, it could be something other than the target language or Spanish, or the target language can be their second or third language or whatnot. So it's very important that we teach them. But in a TBE classroom, it is even more so, because even though the students, right, they all share a home language, and that's probably the target language that we have, that we're teaching, the problem is that they might have not been exposed to the definition of that word in other contexts, right? So they might have heard about, we heard one perfect example I'll give, gato, right? La palabra gato. So I'll switch into Spanish. La palabra gato, ¿verdad? Es una palabra, pues, ¿pensamos en qué? Rápido pensamos en un animal que hace miau, 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 ¿verdad? Eso es lo que conocemos, un gato. Pero ¿qué pasa? Un gato también tiene el significado de que puede ser la herramienta que se utiliza para subir el carro, a jack, right? Eso también puede ser un gato. Así que si yo estoy diciendo, yo voy a utilizar el gato para levantar mi carro. So, imagínate. So, si el estudiante solamente ha utilizado o ha escuchado la palabra gato en el contexto de un animal, ¿cuál es la imagen que sale en su cerebro? Pues, desde que pusieron un gato, un animal con la cola, ¿verdad? Y están subiendo el carro. Imagínate, entonces pierde todo el contexto de esa oración. Entonces sí que ese estudiante va a estar perdido. Va a decir, pero espérate, a mí en mi casa me dicen que el gato hace miau. ¿Cómo yo voy a poner un gato para subir un carro? Imagínate, y si el párrafo completo que se está hablando es de cómo cambiar una goma, una llanta, ¿verdad? Pues se ha perdido el contexto completo y ese niño va a estar confundido, ¿verdad? Así que esa es una de las muchas razones por las cuales nosotros tenemos que entonces enseñar esas palabras polisémicas, porque lo que pasa es que cuando estamos enseñando contexto, estamos enseñando contenido, como lo es la matemática, nos enfocamos muchas veces en estas palabritas, ¿verdad? Las palabritas tier 3, que esas son las palabras que tienen que ver con el contenido que estamos enseñando. Y esas las enseñamos bien rápido, porque esas son bien fáciles. Pero se nos olvida enseñar las palabras que se llaman tier 3 o las palabras polisémicas y se nos olvida que tenemos que enseñar también esas definiciones porque nuestros estudiantes se pueden confundir. Y al confundirse, pueden entonces cambiar completamente su nivel de comprensión. Ahora, otra estrategia también es incorporar el leer, incorporar libros. ¿Ok? Muchas veces pues no pensamos y decimos, pues está bien, pues el leer un libro, pues lo hacemos ¿en qué? En la clase de inglés o en la clase de español y pues ya, y se nos olvida. Pues mira, no. Y nunca es tarde, como dice el refrán, nunca es tarde si la dicha es buena, ¿verdad? Y yo soy, bueno, yo soy de las que abogo mucho por la lectura en todo tipo de contenido. Inclusive les voy a mostrar dos ejemplos que yo tengo ahora mismo que le leo a mi niño, ¿ok? Mi niño, si no, aquellos que no me conocen, mi niño solamente tiene 1 añito, pero yo le leo todos los días, ¿verdad? Entonces, pues yo conseguí un libro que le tengo aquí, que se llama Matemática hasta en la sopa, ¿ok? Y es todo sobre matemática en español, ¿verdad? Y otro que también les recomiendo que si tienen nenes chiquitos, este es para el que les mostré, ¿verdad? Este es para niños que son de 8 años en adelante. Y también hay otros que si tienen niños menores que eso, este es otro. Y se llaman The ABCs of Mathematics. Si no tienen de todo, tienen hasta Rocket Science for Babies, Quantum Physics for Babies, ABCs of Physics, ABC of Science y un montón de otras cosas. ¿Ok? Y son bien, bien buenos. Porque miren, por ejemplo, aquellos que enseñan ya escuela intermedia, escuela superior, pues la hipotenusa, ¿verdad? Mira, una definición de hipotenusa, mira qué cool, ¿verdad? Ay, no, ¿verdad? Y yo se lo leo a mi niño, ¿verdad? Y él, lo más probable, me imagino que la cara en su mente estará diciendo que mi madre está diciendo hoy, qué disparate estará diciendo, ¿verdad? Pero con todo y eso al menos lo estoy exponiendo y esa es la importancia. Y eso es un libro que, mira, aunque sea para bebés, pero mira qué importante y qué bueno sería si tú tienes algo así y lo incluyes en tus lecciones. Pues aquí yo le puse el enlace. eh, todas estas, eh, eh, Todas estas ideas tienen enlaces y ya yo les puse de listas de cosas que pueden incorporar en sus lecciones. Por ejemplo, también aquí tienen una lista completa de Math Read Aloud, ¿ok? En las cuales ustedes pueden incorporar en sus lecciones. También se los puse como para escuela intermedia y escuela superior, porque también varía. Muchas veces pues no vamos a utilizar un librito de bebé, ¿verdad? En middle school, aunque si aplica, pues se usa, ¿verdad? Entonces les puse todos los enlaces. También les quiero recalcar que aquellos de ustedes que tienen, que sus escuelas las han comprado o tienen o les han dado acceso a Kids. Kids tiene una sección completa de matemática y lo tienen en varios idiomas, ¿ok? Así que les inculco, por favor, que si no lo han utilizado o no han explorado Kids, es una herramienta muy, 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 muy buena que les recomiendo que utilicen. Y si ya su distrito lo compró, pues mira, mejor aún. Si su distrito o su escuela no lo ha comprado, honestamente que esta es una de esas cositas que es buena para tener esas conversaciones, ¿verdad? Y decirle, mira, encontré esto. Y honestamente que no es tan caro. No es tan caro comprarlo y muchos de los distritos están de acuerdo en comprarlo porque se puede utilizar no tan solo para los programas bilingües, pero se puede utilizar para todo salón de clase. ¿Ok? Y lo bueno es que tú puedes imprimir los libros y lo puedes, o sea, sacas la copia y lo que sea y lo puedes mandar a la casa, así que no pierdes. Porque a mí me pasaba mucho cuando yo estaba en el salón de clase que yo pues me encantaba enviarla a mis estudiantes con libros de la biblioteca que teníamos del salón de clase, pero ¿qué pasaba? Muchas veces pues no me los devolvían. Y entonces pues mi biblioteca se volvía, tú sabes, de tener un montón a no tener nada cuando llegaba junio. Así que pues tuve que ingeniármelas de alguna manera de suplementar eso. Y a través de Raskits, pues entonces yo podía enviarles a mis estudiantes los libros que ellos necesitaban a su nivel y lo podía hacer en ambos, inglés y en español. Y también, si se perdían, pues no había ningún problema, ¿entiendes? Porque era algo que pues era en papel y no había ningún problema. Otra cosita que les voy a recalcar, esto es bien, bien importante. Muchas veces pues tenemos los diccionarios y los glosarios que son en bilingüe. Los tenemos en el salón de clase y si no los tienen en el salón de clase, pues aquella persona que esté encargado de hacer los acomodos razonables para los estudiantes durante los exámenes, ¿verdad? Aquella persona que está a cargo de eso, pues debe tener acceso a todos esos diccionarios y todos esos glosarios. E inclusive el estado de Nueva York tiene todos esos glosarios y diccionarios que están disponibles, tú vas y los buscas por lenguaje en la página de internet y en el, ¿cómo se dice? Y en el L.I.RBERN, en el website del L.I.RBERN también los pueden buscar, ¿ok? Está todo ahí. Pero ¿qué pasa? ¿Lo dejamos para cuándo? ¿Cuándo es que lo utilizamos? ¿Quién me puede decir? ¿Cuándo es que utilizamos esos diccionarios, esos glosarios? En la mayoría de las veces.
Test prep.
Exactamente, gracias Claudia. Para test prep, cuando tenemos o cuando vamos a dar el examen, ¿verdad? Ahí es cuando decimos, ay, mira, fulanito, espérate, que te tengo que dar el diccionario, toma. Y entonces el niño hace así. Ok, ¿qué se supone que yo hago con esto? Y lo tiran para el lado. ¿Verdad? Porque eso es lo que pasa muchas veces. Pues, ¿qué pasa? Pues tenemos que incorporar el uso de diccionarios y el uso de glosarios. Y no esto no es tan solo para aquel estudiante que tiene un acomodo razonable. Mira, esto debe ser para todo estudiante. Porque, ¿qué es lo que pasa? ¿Sabes qué? Cuando lleguen a la universidad, ellos van a tener que utilizar un diccionario, ¿sabes? Cuando lleguen a su maestría, doctorado, qué sé yo, tienen que utilizar un diccionario, tienen que saber cuál es la definición de las palabras. Y si no, les enseñamos esas destrezas desde temprano, pues mira, los estudiantes no van a poder saber qué hacer. Y esto es algo que ustedes pueden incorporar desde chiquito. Desde chiquito hasta pueden hacer sus propios glosarios o diccionarios con los estudiantes desde kinder, que lo pueden hacer, tú sabes, en tarjetitas index. No tiene que ser nada así muy grande, lo pueden hacer. Así que yo les inculco que por favor lo hagan, lo hagan, lo hagan. Yo aquí puse una foto, ¿verdad? Déjame ver si la pueden ver. Se llama Matemáticas antes de dormir. Y es un libro que lo pueden conseguir en Amazon. Está disponible, es disponible, no cuesta mucho porque aquellos de ustedes que no me conocen, yo busco por las cosas que son las 3 Bs, como decimos en Puerto Rico, bueno, bonito y barato. ¿Ok? Esas son las 3 Bs. Yo siempre busco por las 3 Bs, ¿verdad? Y si mejor que barato me lo dan gratis, aún mejor. ¿Ok? Así que esto es un libro que yo les recomiendo que si están enseñando escuela elemental o también middle school o escuela intermedia, les recomiendo que miren, esto es uno de esos libros que deberíamos de tener en nuestro repertorio. Okay, I'm going to switch it into English now, okay? And another strategy that we need to use, okay, and you probably already use it, sentence and paragraph frames. Those of you that were in the workshop on about science, I again talked about this over and over again, and we use sentence and paragraph frames all the time. We do this. We tend to use them in ELA, right? We do the different levels for our students, and we do the scaffolding and all that, right? But then when it comes to math, we kind of throw them to the wayside and we forget that. Now, those of you that have taken a look, if you have not done so, if you are in grades pre-K to 2 and you have not taken a look at the state assessments, which we're lucky enough that we didn't get them this year, but guess what? We'll probably get them next year. I'm gonna tell you that you get a freebie. You get a one pass. Okay, I don't think this is gonna be a twofer. Okay, you get a one deal. But if you have not taken a look at those exams, I strongly encourage you to do so. And the reason is so that you can see how much language there is. Okay. And what are the expectations for students when it comes to answering those questions, especially when it comes to math? Oh my goodness. Some of those problems are straight words. There are no numbers. Nothing. There's not a number there, maybe 2 numbers, and that's it. And that's a problem. And then when you see what is expected of a student to answer, goes far beyond just computation. They are asked to actually write out and explain. And so there's where our students lose a lot of points. And the problem is that, let's say that in a TBE or dual language classroom, they are entitled to take the test in the other language, right? They can do so. But what if they don't know how to write, okay, in full sentences and all that? What happens? They might know the computation, but if they can't explain it, they're not going to get full credit. And that's the problem. And that's why we have a big disparity with our students, especially our L's, that do not perform, okay, as high as they should. They know the computations, but it's because it's nowadays math, science, social studies are so language rich, but we are still focusing on just teaching the computations and not the language. So here's a little video. It's very short. This is a teacher. She's actually a high school teacher, and she teaches math. And she talks a little bit about how she has incorporated sentence and paragraph frames into her lessons for math. So let me.
All right. Everybody hear it?
Sentence stems are a part of the sentence that students can then build on to complete their thought or their sentence. So I may write the first 2 or 3 words of a sentence, and then students can.
So I'm going to pause it right here. As you can see, that is a math quick write. Okay. Look at it. It says, the question is, what is the most important thing to remember when using a mathematical formula? And then she has a sentence frame that it says, the most important thing to remember when using a mathematical formula is, and then the students can fill in the rest, right? So these are so important. And notice that this is a lot, you know, and probably you're not even thinking of, hey, this is a quick, like something to get started with the day. And those are very, very, very important. And even now, as we're doing remote / distance / virtual / whatever else you want to call it, right? Teaching, I strongly suggest that you incorporate these into your lessons because it gives them that practice. And if you could do it in the target language, even better, okay? So I strongly, strongly suggest it.
All those in with the remaining words. So it's a framework that the students can use. I like using them because it helps me incorporate writing into my class to where my students can access it, and just it gets them started with a project. It gets everyone's head down, pen to paper, and kind of allows them to focus on what the prompt is. And they're really effective for the English language learners because a beginner student can add a couple words, they can complete a thought and intermediate, advanced student can finish that sentence and add another sentence. So often they're receiving information. If you get them writing, they're really thinking about what they're doing. So using a sentence stem really allows the ESL students to access that critical thinking. So just kind of help students get started and gives them a framework.
Okay, so I'm going to
Pause for a second, right? And I'm going to open it up to any questions or comments or concerns so thus far. And you can write it on the chat, or if you would like, you could go ahead and unmute yourself and so we can address those. And Erica is going to be my lovely assistant.
No real questions right now.
Okay, that's always good. That means I'm doing a good job explaining. Awesome.
I do want to, I'm not sure if everyone has taken the chance to look at the chat, but we do have some teachers sharing resources, whether they be files
Awesome.
or free websites. I also shared Cal's guiding principles in here for you, so you can just download it right from here. So do take a peek at the chat while we're engaging in conversation at the same time. So Claudia has one question. What's a good website to find multiple sentence stems?
Okay, so there are several places that you can go, and I like and I don't like. Teachers Pay Teachers is a good place to start, okay? But I always caution everybody because not everything that is posted is of high quality, okay? And you've probably seen that. Like sometimes it's happened to me. I've purchased something thinking that the description is, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I purchase it and I look at it, I'm like, okay, this has nothing to do with what I need.
And Suzanne, if I can just interject.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times this is a question that we get not just for bilingual classrooms, but also for our ENL classrooms. And I think the best answer is create your own, because you will not find something that is specific to what you're teaching, to your students, to their needs. And so you're better off just creating it on your own. And so, it's really just considering what do you want them to be able to do? What do you want them to be able to say? Frame it out, and then take out those, words that you want them to fill in. I think that's the most effective way, and to really making it personal to the students in front of you.
And you read my mind. I was going to say that, Erica. A lot of times, we're like, oh my goodness, I don't have any idea. So a place where you can start with ideas, if you're creating them by yourself, right, is take a look at the New York State assessments. They have copies right there, okay, the most recent. I go and I check them out because it gives me a guide as to what is expected of students to answer in a state assessment, right? I mean, that's the world that we live in. That's the reality. So I look at that. I look at the exemplary answers that they have and what is expected for a student to answer, especially in the long responses. And then I take it from there. I take my sentence frames or my paragraph frames, I take them from there. And then like Erica said, I eliminate the things that I want my students to fill in. And then I differentiate them depending on my students' levels of language acquisition, whether if it's in English or in the target language. Okay. And they have, the great thing about it is that they have them in so many different languages. So you already, you can see it, what is expected for a student to answer in Spanish and Bengali and whatever the case may be, it's there. And so you can, that's a great place to start when you are making your own. Okay, I hope I answered your question, Claudia. And if not, we could definitely, I'm more than happy if you need any extra help, and the L.I.RBERN is there as well. So Just let me know if you need, and you can shoot me examples and say, hey, Susanna, these are good, whatever. Hey, let me know, and I'm here to help, okay? All right. So the other tool that I happen to love are exemplars. And the reason why I happen to love exemplars is because guess what? That is pretty much what students are required to do in a state assessment, okay? They are with these long or extended responses, right? And so there is a company out there, it's hyperlinked onto the title of this page, right? And they do have them in Spanish. Now, they do give you a free trial, okay, for maybe like you can download like 12 of them. What I used to do, and I will deny anything if need be. Okay. What I used to do was I would create my own. Okay. I would take ideas from them, okay, and see how they would write them and how their rubrics and things like that, because you could download a couple of them for free. Okay. And like, for example, I downloaded this one for free. And this one is in Spanish. And then I would take ideas from there and I would be like, okay, now I kind of understand the concept. I get it. And I would write my own for my students and then take it from there. So that's another thing that you could do. But again, you can check out the website. They do have different plans. They're not that expensive, but if your school is interested in them, you could bring it up to them, but they do give you like a free trial that you could download. Depending on the grade level, they had anything from 5 to 12 that you can download, but at least it'll give you an idea. I used to do them for Dr. Seuss's birthday. I would make a whole theme with like red fish, blue fish, and the whole nine. I literally, everything that I taught for like an entire month had to do with Dr. Seuss. And I didn't care what grade level, okay? I did it even with high schoolers and they loved it, okay? So that's another idea that you can use. And then it starts getting and by the way, these can be implemented even as young as kindergarten, okay? They can, I've done it. Okay, you just have to train your students. Okay, you do it as a whole group first and then slowly but surely. Okay, you scaffold it for them, but they can be used in kindergarten and they have some that are kindergarten based. All right, so how many of you have used number talks into your teaching? Oh, I see Kylie, right? I see a couple other people, right? Have you used them? You've heard about them, whatever. Again, this is an oldie but goodie. Okay, this is not new. I'm not reinventing the wheel. It's just another opportunity to put language into math. Why? Because a lot of times we're fine with doing, the computations, we do the reading, we do the writing. But again, we forget about speaking and listening. And they're so important, especially when you're learning language, period. Whether it's your first language or your 20th language, doesn't matter, right? Listening and speaking are so important, but a lot of times when we're teaching content area, they kind of fall through the wayside. So with number talks, it's a great, great idea that you should start incorporating. If you have not done so, okay, if it's not a requirement at your school, like I always say, you close your door and you do what you got to do, right? Don't say that I ever said that, because I will deny, okay? I will deny completely. But you do what you got to do, right? And you do the best for your students, right? And so number talks, I think it's so, so great, because it's a strategy to incorporate into your classroom that really, really, really raises up the level of your speaking and listening. And it also lowers the the intimidation that students might have with like raising their hand and they're like, I don't know. Well, because it's just with a simple like thumbs up or thumb down, or thumbs up, it means that you have some sort of an answer. That's it. And you hold it like this. It's not a big parade, nothing, just like this. I'm good. So we're going to practice them, right? Practice, it makes perfect. So if you have not done so, okay, and if you have, I'm going to encourage you to participate. So In this, we are going to be doing one, we're going to do one of the, we're not going to see the whole video. I put the whole video here. If you want to take a look at it later on, but I'm just going to use one of the examples. And I definitely encourage that you do not use pencil or pen, no cheating, you can't write. It's all here, mental math, okay? All right, so.
The pedagogical strategy that's been really growing over recent years is a kind of grassroots movement called number talks. Sometimes they're called math talks. And they were started by Ruth Parker and Kathy Richardson. You may use these already, but I know many people don't, and we're going to try one together in a moment. The way they work is, in a classroom, you would ask students to work out a problem mentally in their heads, without written work, without writing. And when they've answered the problem, students are asked to just put up their thumb. No hands, because when students are putting their hands up as soon as they're finished, it's intimidating for people who haven't finished. I'm going to just show you the way a number talk is introduced, just the first piece now with the use of thumbs. So this was a number talk that Kathy Humphries gave to our elementary teachers at Stanford. And we're just going to watch the beginning here to see how a number talk is started.
Okay, so on this card, there are some shapes. And when I put the card up, I'd like you to figure out how many there are without counting one by one. So take a quick glimpse of them. And when you do think you know how many there are, then put your thumb up to show me. Ready?
So before we watch a couple of different number talks, I want to try some of the mathematical ideas with you together. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is just simply to write down the answer without using pen and paper. Try not to use the traditional algorithm, but work out and write down the answer for 18 times 5.
All right, so try it out, okay? Just don't use paper and pencil, okay? Just keep it here, all right? All right, and I see Claudia, look at her. She's like, got thumbs up. Kylie got thumbs up. I don't see everybody, but Erica will help me out, right? Thumbs up, okay? Now, what I'm going to encourage you to do, okay, is, Erica, you can pick somebody, and that person will explain. There's no right or wrong answer, okay, other than the computation, but the way that you get to it is no right or wrong answer, okay? All right, so Erica, if you could pick somebody.
Sure, Caitlin, why don't you share for us how you came to this conclusion?
So I got the answer of 90, and what I did first is I broke it down like by place value. So I did 8 times 5 is 40, and then the ones is in the tens place value. So I did 5 times 10 is 50, so 40 plus 50 is 90.
So look at that, Caitlin, right? And those, Kylie, I see it. I see it. You just the girl. You beat me to it. She got like, I got the same way, right? Awesome. She has the hand signals and everything. Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. So Caitlin, as you can see, you did not use maybe the traditional, right? You 18 times 5, right? And you do the cross multiplication, the whole 9 yards and add and da-da-da. You did not. You kind of broke it down. Now, if we think about it, great job, right? Kiss your brain. You did fantastic. Okay. And one of the things that I have to highlight about that and the importance of that is that when doing so, you have used so many different strategies. You use place value, right? You're now incorporating other concepts that have to do with math into something that is just simple multiplication, right? And that's the important thing. And now if you don't even see a purpose of doing this, right, in the classroom, let's say for argument purposes, you say, you know what, Suzanne, this is, okay, this is cute, whatever, blah, blah, for the classroom. Now I'm gonna counter argue that, okay? And I'm gonna say, okay, how many times do you go to the store before COVID and prior to COVID? I gotta say, I used to go to the store and leisurely walk around, and as you grab either an item, right, and you saw that it was 50% off or whatever the case may be, you did not pull out your calculator, although some of us do, But most of us are like, okay, all right, cool. All right, yes, I could buy this. This is a good buy. We did it here. So if you don't see any use and you're like, okay, what are my kids going to use this? Because like my husband, although he's in a conference call right now, so luckily he may not hear what I'm about to say. So that's awesome. So he tells me all the time, he's like, babe, what am I going to use that for? What do they use that for? Well, you know what? There is a purpose for this later on in life, okay? It's a strategy that kids are going to use as they get older, okay? Because not always are we going to have a calculator off the top of our head, right? We have one, our brains, but we don't have one like, you know, oh wait until I open it and I get it through and it recognizes my face, because now with a mask it won't recognize my face, it'll take a while. So by then I've already done the computations already in my head. So it is a useful skill that can be used outside of the classroom.
Let me just put my headphones back so you can hear me even better. All right, so if you want to take a look at the entire video, it just shows you more examples of how to do it. I have already hyperlinked it to this, but you can already see how important this is. Now I put the cover of one of the books. There's actually, if I'm not mistaken, there's 2 or 3, and they're divided by grade levels, and they have examples there. Again, you can look at these examples and then start making your own. I know that some of the publishing companies have started incorporating some sort of number talks in there. But sometimes I feel like they kind of are not the best. So here you can get some ideas on what you can do. You can watch the video in its entirety. It's 15 minutes. That's why I'm not putting the entire thing. But at least for you to get an idea of what it is, I suggest that you can purchase these. These are not that expensive. You can purchase them in Amazon, whatever the case may be, or you can, if you don't want to purchase like one for yourself, I suggest that maybe as a team or as a grade level you do so. You can maybe purchase one, okay, and kind of pull it out so that you can get ideas. But I definitely recommend it. Okay, so aside from that, I'm going to switch now to Spanish if everybody's good with that. Ok, entonces, ¿cómo vamos a monitorear el progreso de nuestros estudiantes en matemática, verdad? Pues muchos de ustedes pues ya tendrán algún sistema, alguna cosa que ya hayan implementado, obviamente porque estamos haciendo, estamos enseñando virtualmente o remotamente, como lo quieran llamar, ¿verdad? Pero hay veces que, mira, necesitamos algo que sea un poquito más como que, pues, para matemática nada más, o para diferentes áreas de contenido, ¿verdad? Entonces, pues, quería compartir con ustedes diferentes páginas, diferentes productos que existen allá afuera, que son, si no a bajo costo, como les dije, las 3B, bueno, bonito y barato, o si no es gratis, ¿ok? Y esas son las cosas que yo trato de siempre, pues, compartir con ustedes. Estas son cosas que ya yo las he evaluado, las he mirado, las he utilizado en diferentes capacidades. Pues la primera es Khan Academy. Khan Academy, ahora como ha visto que pues hay tanta necesidad y tantas escuelas pues están enseñando virtualmente, pues entonces ellos ahora han como que incorporado muchos más idiomas. Tienen completas lecciones con videos, exámenes, pruebas cortas. Tienen todo eso, especialmente en matemáticas, y lo tienen en español, al igual que otros lenguajes. Así que le exhorto, y es gratis, que eso es lo mejor de todo, es gratis, 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 no tienes que hacer nada. La otra, no voy a coger I'm not going to take credit, ok, no me voy a echar el crédito, porque el crédito se lo tengo que dar a la persona que me lo dijo, y esa es Claudia. Claudia me mandó este enlace, ok, ella me dijo la semana pasada y me dice, mira, tengo un recurso para que lo compartas, así que le voy a dar crédito a Claudia. Gracias, Claudia. Este es uno que se está usando, que se llama Explore Learning, ok. Tiene un sinnúmero de cosas. inclusive que tiene más allá de solamente matemáticas. Y también bien similar a Khan Academy, ese concepto de que tú puedes monitorear el progreso de tus estudiantes, puedes asignar lecciones, tiene diferente contenido, ya sea de matemáticas, ciencias, de diferentes cosas. Así que pues les exhorto que lo chequen también. Y como le dije, ya tenemos una experta en la materia, en verdad, pues mira, si tienen alguna preguntita adicional, les exhorto pues que hablen con Claudia, porque ella lo está utilizando ahora mismo. El otro también está Delta Math, muy similar a los demás, lo único que pues este es específico para matemáticas. También está Math Space, ¿ok? Este otro es un Math Board, pero es una aplicación que es para, pues tienen que bajar la aplicación al dispositivo electrónico que estén utilizando. Rocket Math es más para los chiquitines, ¿verdad? Que también pueden utilizarlo y pues monitorea el progreso de los estudiantes dependiendo de pues las lecciones. QMath, a mí me encantó si no lo han utilizado, les exhorto que los chequeen. Ahora sí tiene un costo, pero tiene ahora mismo por la pandemia, pues tiene una suscripción gratuita por un tiempo limitado. Lo que me encantó es que ellos lo que tienen son problemas de matemática, ¿ok? Que son diseñados para contestarse en grupos, ¿ok? Virtualmente, ¿ok? Así que si tú quieres tener esos proyectos y esos problemas de matemática, pero en grupo, todavía lo puedes utilizar con esta herramienta que se llama QMath. El costo no es mucho, ¿ok? No es una cosa que yo diría, Dios mío, me va a hacer sacar una segunda hipoteca en la casa. No, ¿ok? Yo creo que lo que cuesta es como $9, algo así, ¿ok? Pero es súper nítido en el hecho de que pues ofrece la capacidad de poder los estudiantes interactuar el uno con el otro de una manera virtual para entonces resolver problemas de matemática. Y eso es una de las cosas que pues ahora mismo pues se nos hace un poquito difícil, que no podemos hacer esas actividades en grupo, pues a través de esta página sí lo pueden utilizar. Está otro que es CK12, que también otra plataforma que pueden utilizar que también tiene que ver con matemáticas, que les puede dar esa opción de poder, especialmente para los chiquitos también, pueden entonces monitorear el progreso de los estudiantes y ver cómo ellos están haciendo en cuestión de matemáticas. Entonces, otro más que también está para los chiquitines, ¿verdad? Pues está Math Training for Kids y es una aplicación que pueden bajar que es, si mal no me equivoco, es gratis también y existe para entonces monitorear el progreso de los estudiantes y así le da actividades dependiendo de cuál es el nivel de progreso. ¿Ok? ¿Alguna preguntita? Ok. ¿No? Ok. Bueno, pues vamos a hacer una preguntita ahora, ¿verdad? Vamos a hacer una encuesta a ver cuántos de ustedes, y aquí está la pregunta, en cuestión de tiempo, ¿verdad? ¿Cuántos pensamos cuál es el número de segundos que es más apropiado cuando se trata de darle el tiempo de espera a los estudiantes? Cuando hacemos una pregunta, ¿cuánto se le debe de dar? Ok, tenemos como 25 participantes que han contestado. Voy a darle unos segunditos más. Ok. Ahora, la mayoría de ustedes contestaron de entre 15 a 20 segundos. Ok. Muchos de ustedes también hay 2 o 3 que contestaron de 5 a 10, 10 a 15, ¿verdad? Bueno, estadísticamente, ¿qué es lo que sucede? Pues, estadísticamente se supone que le demos de entre 5 a 15 segundos a los estudiantes de espera, ¿verdad? Ahora, ¿cuántos de ustedes se sintieron que el tiempo de silencio que yo di desde la última vez que dije algo hasta cuando paré la encuesta fue largo? ¿verdad? Se sintió largo a veces, se siente largo y se siente incómodo, ¿verdad? A veces que ese es el problema, que nos sentimos como que alguien diga algo, Dios mío, ¿verdad? Pues, ¿qué pasa? Si supieran, ¿verdad? Que por promedio, aunque nosotros sabemos que es pues, deberíamos de darle entre 5 a 10 a 15 segundos, ¿verdad? El promedio de lo que tendemos a darle a los estudiantes es 0.9, 0.9 segundos. Ni un segundo le damos. ¿Entiendes? Y es porque nos sentimos incómodos cuando tenemos ese silencio y es como que, ok, y especialmente, y ni se diga si nos están observando. Si estamos bajo una observación, ok, menos le damos a los estudiantes. ¿Por qué? Porque nos sentimos como que, Dios mío, si ningún niño contesta, aquí me quedé yo en esta evaluación, ya esto se fue. Ok, esto es lo que me van a hacer cero. Pues no, es importante darle ese tiempo. ¿Por qué? Porque especialmente en nuestros salones bilingües, acuérdense que los estudiantes están aprendiendo de 2 a más idiomas, ¿ok? Y necesitan ese tiempo para procesar la información, ¿verdad? Utilizar lo que se llama el repertorio lingüístico para entonces poder procesar y que salga una contestación, ¿verdad? Pues, ¿qué pasa? Pero si no le damos ese tiempo, pues el estudiante lo que va a pasar es que va a decir, pues espérate, yo no sé nada, pues, ok, pues no va a hacer nada, no va a contestar. Y no contesto hoy, pero tampoco voy a contestar mañana, ni pasado, ni el siguiente día, ¿verdad? Tiendo a dejar de contestar. Y ese es el problema que tenemos. Pues mira, pues ahora yo les voy a dar como que una prueba, ¿verdad? Y les exhorto que por favor cuando vayan a hacer sus lecciones, ¿verdad? Inclusive hasta cuando las estemos haciendo virtualmente, ¿ok? Estemos un poquito más cómodos con ese, como le dicen, awkward silence. Estemos cómodos con eso, ¿verdad? Que es difícil. Lo decimos a veces como que, sí, 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 está bien, pero es difícil. Porque cuántas veces no hemos estado con una persona que acabamos de conocer, le decimos, hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola. Y después nadie dice nada. Y ya uno está como que, ok, déjame agarrar la cartera, déjame agarrar mis tereques, porque yo como que me quiero ir, ¿verdad? Me quiero ir, no quiero estar aquí. Porque ese awkward silence, ¿verdad? Así que tenemos que estar cómodos con eso y proveerles estas oportunidades a los estudiantes para poder contestar, dependiendo de cuál sea su nivel también. ¿Ok? Así que les he puesto también el artículo, aquí le puse el enlace para el artículo que habla de cuál es el promedio que le tenemos que dar a los estudiantes. Mira, si no le quieres dar los 15 minutos porque es un montón, está bien, pero vamos a empezar poquito a poquito, ¿verdad? Vamos a empezar con 5, ¿ok? Y después sucesivamente pues vamos a darles un poquito más, ¿ok? Y esto tiene que ser continuo, no puede ser solamente hoy o mañana, pues no, tenemos que hacerlo continuo, ¿ok? Así que es muy, muy importante. Así que si no los han hecho, por favor, y especialmente cuando se trata de si vamos a incorporar los number talks o los math talks, ¿verdad? Si los vamos a incorporar en las lecciones, tenemos que entonces practicar esto todo el tiempo, porque hay que darle la oportunidad al estudiante a poder sacar esa información y poderla procesar y poderla decir. ¿Okay? Y eso muchas veces, pues cuando estamos hablando de matemáticas, como siempre estamos buscando una contestación como tal, ¿verdad? Un número o una solución, no le damos el tiempo adecuado a los estudiantes para poder contestar y procesar la información. Y especialmente si lo estamos haciendo en varios idiomas. ¿Ok? Ok. Bueno. Now, the other suggestion that I have or strategy that I encourage everybody to do is engage your students in math. And a lot of times we have our beautiful lessons that come from our whatever program we're using, whether that's Go Gadget Math, as I call it, or Go Math, or Envision Math, or shout out another one because there's so many of them. All right. All right, we have all these beautiful lessons that they have and we go through it and whatnot. But you know what? a lot of times we know as educators that they're not as engaging as we would think they would be, right? And so we have to make sure that we do make math engaging, because math is one of those subjects that if we don't do this, we're going to burst that bubble for students, right? We got to make it as engaging as possible. And so one of the suggestions that I always have to make math engaging is using manipulatives, right? The other one is, those of you that have already attended my webinars, you know I love games. I love games. I think games are so important to have in your lessons, okay? And the more games that you can incorporate, guess what? That's how students are going to remember the concept, okay? I love games. So whatever the case might be, they could be computer-based or traditional, and I call those the old school games, right? Take it back, old school, right? You don't have to be all fancy schmancy. All right, things very simple as, and I'll discuss some of those, like the traditional Connect Four. There's so many variations that you could do with Connect Four. It's very inexpensive. Okay, the game, I think they jacked up the price a little bit now with everything with quarantine and everything, right? But they're still under $10. You could get one at any of the any place, whether it's Amazon or whatnot, or Walmart or anywhere. You could buy them. Sometimes teachers are getting rid of them, right? But those are the types of games that you can incorporate other features to them and make them into awesome math games, okay? And then project-based math problems. I often encourage to think a little bit outside of the box, okay? Some of these problems and some of these workbooks or textbooks that we use, they stick to the traditional kind of like in the box, right? And we teach the computation and we teach the problem, and that's it. And I see Caitlin, she's nodding her head and she's agreeing with me, right? And they just teach that. But what happens? We don't make it project-based, and students often then forget. And you're like, you teach the concept, let's say in October, okay? And when you go back in March and and you go back to kind of review that same concept, you are banging your head against the wall, because you're like, for everything that is holy, I know I taught this, and I taught it for like 3-4 weeks, and we did an entire unit, for crying out loud. And you, my lovely angels, they cannot remember one single thing I taught. So I have to reteach everything, right? Because they can't make those connections. And that is the problem, because a lot of these programs that we purchase, that they're so nicely packaged, okay? They are not project-based, okay? They are computations. They teach a way of solving a problem, and then they move on to the next unit, and the two shall never meet, okay? They don't go back on unit 2 and let's say, let's review and let's talk more and let's see how this builds onto this. Most of them are not spiral, okay, programs. Most of them are kind of sectioned off, and that is a problem. So with project-based learning, a lot of times you are able to incorporate multiple strategies and multiple tools when it comes to math, and be able to incorporate different concepts, mathematical concepts that students may not have thought that one had to do with the other. For example, just in how we did with the number talks, and Caitlin said, okay, I use place value and whatever, but if you don't make those connections to project-based learning, okay, students will not make that connection that, hey, place value has something to do with multiplication, right? They won't. They'll just think, okay, multiplication is separate from place value and the two shall never meet, because that is how it's taught in a textbook. They're taught in two different things. Okay, so how do we use this? How do we do this? Look, again, I'm going to tell you, I am always trying to save a buck here and there if I can. Okay. And so I love traditional games, for example, like Uno, Connect Four, and Twister. And the reason why they're hyperlinked is there are ideas that I have put here that take you to different ideas that you can turn these traditional games into math games. Okay, so you could just hit the each of the suggestions, and it will take you to a website that has different ideas on what you could do with these traditional games. Twister, Connect Four, Uno, Connect Four one that I'll tell you right off the top of my head that I have used. I take the Connect Four, right? You have your yellow and you have your red. Okay. I'm not big on reinventing the wheel. The wheel was already invented. Okay. So I'm not gonna go and invent something else. Okay. So what I do is we often do this, right? We have to do a lot of test prep. Okay, we do it. It's okay. All right, but I make it fun. So I take something like a Connect Four, and I take regular index cards, nothing fancy, nothing, very cheap. Okay, and I literally print out the questions from one of the assessments. Okay, cut it out, paste it on one of the index cards. Okay, and put it there. And I put the answer on the back. I paste the answer as well. Okay. And what I do is I tell students, okay, you're going to play Connect Four, but the only way that they could put one of the little tokens, right, is if they answer the question correctly, and then the other person is the one that's going to monitor whether or not they got it right. Okay. And that's a simple way. It's very inexpensive. It doesn't take too much time and preparation. Okay. And you could do it for different groups in your classroom. Okay. And you can even differentiate it, because if you have students that are really gifted and talented, hey, you can look at an 8th grade. Let's say that you're teaching 7th grade. You can look at an 8th grade test, and you can look at by the standard, and you can look at the standard, how it moves up into 8th grade, and have students, hey, okay, maybe I could give them something from there. Okay, very simple, very, very simple. Okay, another idea is what we see here, right? This is honestly super inexpensive because you don't have to buy anything. You just have to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever hardware store and take the little paint cards. Okay, take a bunch of them. I got no shame. Like my husband says, I got no shame in my game. All right, I'll go and I'll just and be like, look, I'm a teacher, my bad. All right, so the struggle is real. Okay, and I need these. Okay, thank you if they say anything, which I have done, by the way. And most of the times I go and I'll speak to the manager or the assistant manager, and they're pretty understanding 9 times out of 10. So I take a lot of these paint cards. You could go ahead, you can make them into a board game. You could again take index cards, put the questions in there. Okay, and as you can see, this is nothing that took a lot of preparation as well, and you are not reinventing the wheel. You take the same questions from the state assessments without any problem. Okay, and very inexpensive. Bueno, remember, bueno, bonito y barato. It looks gorgeous. And if you want, you just laminate it, and that way you can save it for the next year. There you go. Lakeshore is the best place to go do some lamination. There you go. All right. So, all right, now that we have come to game time, those of you that have attended my webinars before know that I love games. So
Okay, all right. Now let's see who our winners are. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right. Remember, send me your email. Stephanie, send me your email. And the winner. Let's see. Wow, comeback. Wow, awesome. And thank you to Kylie and Melly. Thank you so much.
like I said, games are always super cool. Even as adults, we enjoy games, right? They're just fun, right? And you feel like you're not learning, although I made you all do some Algebra 1. There you go. Really early in the morning. Just in case you did not think about that, yes, that was Algebra 1. So, now other ideas for interactive games and tools, and I'm going to switch to Spanish now if you are okay with that. Así que algunos juegos interactivos y algunas herramientas interactivas que pueden utilizar en el salón de clase, y muchas de ellas son gratis. Ok, voy a recalcar otra vez, voy a decirlo otra vez. Gratis. Ok, que eso es lo más importante, porque muchas veces necesitamos las cosas gratis, mano, ¿verdad? Como dice mi papá, muchas veces la piña está agria, mano. Y pues no rinde. Así que hay que buscar lo más barato que se pueda conseguir, y gratis es siempre mejor. Así que tenemos aquí un enlace en el cual le pueden hacer clic, y es de matemática interactiva. Y hay muchas herramientas que pueden utilizar que están en español, ¿ok? Así que muchas de las cosas que voy a compartir con ustedes en esta página específicamente son en español. La mayoría son gratis con la excepción de una, y les voy a dejar saber cuál, ¿ok? Este es Retos Matemáticos para toda la familia. Mira, una de las cosas más importantes ahora es que cuando estamos escribiendo, estamos desarrollando nuestras lecciones, pues es bien importante que pues muchas de las veces los papás no tienen el tiempo, pues están trabajando, están haciendo muchas cosas, ¿verdad? Están trabajando desde la casa. Así que el sentarse a hacer muchas lecciones en diferentes contextos, pues un poquito abrumador. Pues esta es una manera de todavía enseñar matemáticas, pero hacerlo una actividad interactiva, hacerlo divertido para la familia, para todo el mundo en la familia. Así que pues, esto es una manera pues que como dicen, ¿verdad? Kill two birds with one stone. Y así pues pueden una actividad que tenga que ver con matemáticas, sí que cubren esa destreza, ¿verdad? Y también pues la idea de compartir en familia. Y aquí los tienen, y en español, que es muy importante. También tenemos ayuda para maestros. Aquí yo les puse el enlace. Ellos tienen muchas otras cosas, pero también tienen una página dedicada completamente. ¿Cuál es el enlace que les puse aquí? Que es completamente para matemáticas, para enseñar matemáticas y en español. Y tiene pues ya cosas que sean interactivas, juegos, y diferentes otros recursos. Uno de mis favoritos, y les voy a enseñar, que no cuesta dinero, ¿ok? Y que se puede bajar en su celular, así que los papás lo pueden hacer en la casa, ¿ok? Se llama Bedtime Math o Mini Math, ¿ok? Bedtime Math es para estudiantes de tercer grado en adelante, hasta 9º grado, y Mini Math es para los pequeñines, ¿ok? Viene en español, ¿ok? Así que yo se los voy a enseñar para aquellos que lo pueden bajar. La aplicación es gratis, 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 gratis. Les voy a enseñar que tienen el Bedtime Math, ¿ok? Y ven ahí, está en español, ¿ok? Y esto yo lo tengo en mi celular, ¿ok? Lo bajé sin ningún problemita. Tú lo bajas en la tienda de Google o en la tienda de Apple y lo buscan. Entonces tienen problemas de matemática del día. ¿Qué pasa? Pues ellos lo hacen en una manera de un cuento, ¿ok? Como en un cuento, y entonces pues incorporan la matemática como en un cuento. Así que mira, si tienen estudiantes que se les está haciendo difícil completar la tarea, cual todos lo sabemos, ¿verdad? Que esa es una de las realidades que tenemos hoy en día, ya que estamos haciendo instrucción virtual. Pues, ¿qué pasa? Pues mira, si los papás no pueden hacer más nada y se les hace difícil, porque llegaron o terminaron el día de trabajar desde la casa o están trabajando fuera de la casa y después llegar a la casa y completar todas las asignaciones y todo eso se les hace bien difícil. Mira, una alternativa que les podemos poner es decirle, mira, si no pueden hacer más nada, hagan simple bedtime math y ya. Porque muchas veces los papás llegan ¿para qué? Para la hora de dormir, ¿verdad? Para darles un baño, que coman y acostarlos a dormir. Así que si no hacen más nada, pues mira, ahí está incorporando literatura, ¿verdad? Y están incorporando matemáticas. Así que si los estudiantes no pueden completar más nada, pues esto es una solución fantástica, gratis para los padres, en español y en inglés, porque lo tienen en ambos idiomas, y que lo pueden hacer. Y que se puede hacer también con los estudiantes que son más chiquitos, ¿verdad? De kinder a segundo grado es el Mini Math, que también viene en español, así que se los voy a mostrar para que lo tengan. El que le enseñé fue el Bedtime Math, y entonces está el Mini Math, que les voy a enseñar aquí, ¿ok? Y pueden bajar la aplicación en español o en inglés, dependiendo de lo que necesiten, ¿ok? Y aquí tú vas, vamos a suponer que yo me metí en animales, ¿verdad? Y aquí tienen pues el cuentecito. Y aquí dice, pues, y le lees el cuento, y tiene el cuento ahí, de los pandas y todo, con una actividad de matemáticas. Entonces los estudiantes están practicando todas las modalidades, ¿verdad? Están escuchando porque el papá o la mamá o aquella persona que los cuida, pues le está leyendo algo, el cuento, ellos están escuchando, a la misma vez están haciendo sus cómputos también, y pues incorpora tantas cosas. Entonces también dice, entonces para uno mirar, hacer y pensar. ¿Ok? Entonces tú les das a cualquiera de esos tres. Y es algo que mira hasta si la persona no es los papás, pero es el babysitter. ¿Entiendes? Que pues no puede, tú sabes, no van a hacer las tareas con el niño, pero mira, lo está cuidando y pueden hacerlo también. ¿Ok? Hasta para la abuela, quien sea. ¿Ok? Y hay muchas cosas y honestamente que les recomiendo y es gratuito. Y es algo que yo utilizaba cuando estaba en el salón de clases. Y esto fue cuando primero salió, que solamente era una página de internet y yo lo utilizaba en el salón de clase y era súper, súper bueno. Y yo le ponía en los homework packets que le enviaba a mis estudiantes, yo le decía a los papás, mira, si no hacen más nada, no, lean un cuento o utilicen bedtime math. Y en aquel entonces no era tan sofisticado como lo ves ahora, solamente era en inglés, pero ahora lo tienen en español y lo tienen como una aplicación y todo eso, y honestamente que se los recomiendo. El otro es Dreambox. Dreambox tiene sí muchas cosas, muchos juegos y muchas herramientas interactivas que pueden utilizarse en inglés y en español. Eso sí, tienen un costo. Ellos tienen una suscripción como de prueba, ¿verdad? Por un tiempo limitado, pero sí, es la única de todas las que les estoy poniendo aquí que tiene un costo. Después de que se te acaba ese periodo de prueba, pues te van a cobrar. No es muy caro, ¿ok? Pero sí tiene un costo. Ahora, sí hay programas o paquetes que ellos tienen para aquellas escuelas o qué sé yo que lo quieran comprar, así que es una sugerencia que si les gusta, pues les sugiero que entonces pues se lo lleven a los administradores, ¿verdad? Ahora, aquí yo lo que hice fue que entonces aquí tienen otros recursos, los dividí por grado, ¿ok? Muchos de ellos tienen la capacidad de tenerlos en inglés y en español, ¿ok? Así que les exhorto que los chequen. Para escuela elemental, pues otra vez digo, esto no es the end all to be all, ¿ok? Estos son aquellos que yo he encontrado que son muy efectivos, muy buenos, bien fáciles de encontrar, bien fáciles de utilizar y son o gratuitos o de bajo costo, ¿ok? Primero empezamos con Education Math, tenemos también PBS Kids, Funbrain y ABC ya. Todos ellos también tienen la capacidad de tener estar en español, ¿ok? Así que para los chiquitines, pues mira, aquí podemos empezar, ¿ok? Especialmente PBS Kids tiene muchas cosas en español, Education también, Funbrain y ABC ya. Funbrain tiene 2 o 3, pero no tantas, pero tiene, ¿ok? Middle School, para escuela intermedia, está ABC ya, ¿verdad? Tienen muchas cosas para escuela intermedia, ¿ok? XP Math, Math Playground, Math Nook tiene actividades para coordinates. Se están enseñando los coordenales, pues mira, pueden empezar por ahí. Entonces, X and Y tienen cosas en Math Nook. Manga High tiene para ecuaciones lineares, que es bien importante también. Entonces, Virtual Nerd es súper cool porque tiene un montón de videos de diferentes temas o diferentes destrezas que estás aprendiendo en matemáticas. Así que chequenlo si necesitan, en vez de uno tener que ponerse ahora especialmente que estamos haciendo educación virtual, ¿verdad? En vez de uno tenerse que ponerse a buscar un video que explique el concepto, que sí, qué sé yo, y todas esas cosas. Mira, Virtual Nerd, chequenlo primero, a ver si encuentran uno, ¿ok? Otros estamos Brain Pop. Muchas veces no pensamos en Brain Pop para escuela superior. Pues mira, Brain Pop ahora tiene un montón de cosas para escuela superior, especialmente para entonces categorizar los diferentes ángulos, que es bien importante, es un concepto de geometría. Pues mira, BrainPop ahora tiene para escuela superior. Alberta es de Canadá, ¿verdad? Y tiene muchos recursos. Geobria, espero que lo haya dicho bien, ¿verdad? Es de geometría y es súper interesante. Ok, y les voy a decir que esta página de internet es de, si mal no me equivoco, de los Países Bajos, de Netherlands, ¿ok? Es de allá, así que yo les busqué, porque ellos tienen diferentes idiomas, así que yo les busqué el enlace específico. Si le dan aquí, les va a llevar a la página en español, ¿ok? Porque si no, les va a llevar, si lo buscan en Google, les va a llevar a la página que es en, en Dutch, y no quieren eso, obviamente, a menos que sepan hablarlo, ¿verdad? Pero si no, pues, es mejor, pues, aquí, pues, le pueden dar el enlace y le lleva a la página directamente en español. Configure Geometry, este es súper nítido porque aquellos que están haciendo geometría pues tienen los teoremas y entonces pueden poner los teoremas, las explicaciones y todo eso referente a ángulos. Así que estos son todos y todos tienen sus enlaces, así que y los lleva directamente a las páginas correspondientes. Otros recursos que está Geometry Pad, que es muy importante, bien bueno. Photomath, explica los problemas paso por paso en más de 15 idiomas, ¿ok? Así que lo pueden utilizar en inglés, español, tenían árabe, bengalí, tenían, bueno, tantos idiomas, eran más de 15, ¿ok? Así que lo pueden utilizar y esto es bien importante porque si el estudiante tiene dificultad, esto es una herramienta que pueden utilizar y se puede utilizar en diferentes idiomas. Mathway es otro recurso, tienen Math Shapes y Pattern Shapes, que también pueden chequearlo y tienen diferentes herramientas que pueden utilizar para hacer su lección de matemática bien interactiva. ¿Ok? Y esto lo pueden utilizar ahora que lo estamos haciendo educación virtual, a la misma vez que cuando ya pasemos de educación virtual, que no se sabe cuándo eso vaya a ser, ¿verdad? Porque de lo que están diciendo las noticias parece que nos vamos a ir también en agosto, septiembre, ¿verdad? Por si acaso, pero esto es algo que pueden utilizar ahora mismo y también lo pueden incorporar en el salón de clases una vez que ya regresemos. Bueno, now I'm going to switch to English and I'm going to pause for a minute. Do we have any questions, any comments?
No questions.
Job explaining. That's always great.
No real questions. I know Caitlin just added in the chat that her students usually copy off the Photomath. Does anyone have any of those same issues?
And I'm gonna say, Caitlin, and that is one of the things that you can one of the ways that I have seen it done, that you can avoid that is by you kind of telling students that you already know that is the way that they do it, okay? And kind of what I've seen the teachers do is copy and paste that same explanation that Photomath gives them and kind of tell students, okay, I do know that this is the way, but I want more explanation. And I think that in that case, having them explain how they got there, okay, writing it out is a great way to see if your students know it or not. Or if you even want to just have them practice orally, they can explain it and take a video of how they solve that problem. Because in that way, it's not whether or not Photomath got it done for them, but they're going to have to explain it and understand it. And that's really, at the end of the day, what you want.
Right. And I've tried that orally and they just look at me and I'm like, see, this is why, like, I wish you just looked at the explanations of the step-by-step, because they, like, sometimes depending on what they're doing, the symbols that Photomath shows they don't know what the symbol means because they're using whatever coding that they have in their program. And so they copy it, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like, what does that symbol mean? And they can't tell me.
Exactly. And then that way, so if you want to say, because let's say that they're getting a little shy, which we know it's not, but
Yeah.
if you want to do that, they can explain their answer either verbally, or they have to do it in writing, how they got each of those steps. And I've seen this, like I said, I've seen this being done in schools that do virtual teaching all year long, not just because of COVID. And they know of these, they encounter these similar problems. And so a lot of times what they have students do is explain their answer written, and they also have to show, in their handwriting as well, what they did and how they solved their problem. Like, they can't just write in the answer on whatever platform they're using. They have to actually do the work, and they have to submit it. Otherwise, they will not get any credit.
Oh, okay. Great. Thank you.
And the other one is that they have to get their parents' signature.
Oh,
on the work.
interesting.
Yes. And that, honestly, those three things, if you incorporate it, the kid has to, because they'll be like, okay, there has to be a signature of the parent. The parent has to actually grade it, and the answers are sent to the parents in an email or something, just for the parent to see. And so the parent can check the work and see and ask the kid the questions and things like that to figure out if they copied or not.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
No problem. Trust you me, they're slick. They're slick, but we gotta be slicker. All right. So another place that we can do, we can find manipulatives. And manipulatives are fantastic tools. But if you have encountered the same problem that I did when I was in the classroom, is that a lot of times by the time you get these manipulatives, they're missing a lot of parts, right? We're missing the kit, or we're missing like 3/4 of the kit that come with the whatever program they decided to buy at my school, or the school that you're at. And so we don't get the chance to have the students be able to use these manipulatives because the school might not be able to buy them. Okay, so with that being said, these are virtual manipulatives that students can use, also including now through your virtual/remote learning, teaching, whatever. And then this one is in Spanish, Biblioteca Nacional de Manipuladores Virtuales. And by the way, they also have it in French as well. They have English, Spanish, and French. So this is a great tool. You also have virtual manipulatives, 10 frames, Spanish tool chest. And this is the link specifically for Spanish. There is an English one, but this is specifically for Spanish. Most of these, you can use them either in English or in Spanish because it's just a manipulative itself. So the same way happens with this. I just put a few: factorization, fractions, decimals, and percentages, number pieces, counters, and frames, pattern blocks. And like I said before, you can just click on the hyperlink and it'll take you directly to these pages where you can use them. And they are all free, which I love. Okay, I always say it, free, free, free is best. Okay, now, so really quick before we reach our end, we're gonna do a really quick poll. Do you think that you are good at math? How many of you say I am awesome at math? How many of you say no, I am not good at math? So all right, so I am going to pause it right now. And the majority says that you're good at math, which actually I find fantastic. And I'm glad to hear that, because I will have you know that the majority of students say that they are not good at math. The majority of adults say that they are not good at math, okay? And that percentage even goes higher if you are a woman, okay? A lot of women tend to say, I am not good at math. And I would have you know that that starts early on, all the way down to pre-K and kindergarten. That idea that we are not good at math starts early on. And a lot of times it happens because of things that unfortunately we as teachers might be doing that we unconsciously don't know that we are doing, and we are instilling this kind of dislove for math, okay, and especially to our girls. So we have to raise the bar for all our students. And that brings us to the social cultural competency. Remember that pillar that I talked about? So building math equity. So I will have you know that research shows, just like how we talked about the silence period, you know, allowing kids to be able to talk, and it's a 0.9 seconds that we kind of give students on an average. Believe it or not, but on an average, even though as best as we try, right, and we say, no, I give equitable, you know, I ask all my kids equitably and whatnot. Studies have shown that we tend to ask more math questions to boys than we do to girls. And we tend to favor more boys than we do girls when it comes to math and science, okay? That is why now in the workforce, you have more males in the science and math fields than you do women. And that is why it's such a hot commodity to find women to enter those career. So we need to pay attention to the time that we spend with students. So be more mindful and do a test if you want, or ask a colleague to come into your classroom and kind of find out how many times do you call on boys and you call versus girls to see when it comes to math. Create learning environments that allow all students to learn at their pace. And going back to that whole engagement component of project-based learning, it is a little bit harder than we think, right? But you know what? It's so important because it allows students to learn at their own pace and in their own way. And that is very important, right? Another way is making connections to the real world, okay? And making math engaging. So we need to make connections to other content areas and topics. That is one of the reasons why I love that app, Bedtime Math and Mini Math, right? Because it makes those connections. And that way we're not teaching math in a silo like we tend to do a lot of our content areas. We teach them in silos, and that is why the students are able to forget it so quickly what we just taught them. And we're like, oh my goodness, but I just taught this entire unit on fractions. How can you forgetting this? Okay, because we're not making those connections to other content areas and other topics. Connect math to discuss the inequities throughout history. It's a great way. We don't think about it. We think more of other content areas, or maybe ELA or SLA. We think about that, language arts, as opposed to math. Math is a great subject to teach the inequities throughout history. And as always, I have put some ideas and resources that you can target social justice and the social cultural competency component of bilingual education, and I put it in here so you don't have to be searching anywhere if you are going to do it. They're right here. Okay, so you don't have to be searching anywhere. All right, and you have radical math, which is math and social justice together, and it gives you ideas, it gives you lesson plans, it gives you, I mean, it's fantastic. So great resource right here. This is a list of resources to teach math and social justice. I mean, I definitely recommend it. This one right here is a Google Doc. It's a Word document that I have put already here, that it has what topic of math you're going to be teaching, the grade level, and how you can make a social justice component attached to it, and it has the lesson. I mean, it's fantastic. Like, you don't have to search anywhere, and it gives you the websites right on the other column of where you can go and click for that particular lesson. Beautiful. I mean, it's one-stop shop. I like that, right? Not to reinvent the wheel. Another place is Teaching Tolerance. They have a lot of resources, but specifically for math, they have how to teach social justice and math and making those connections to the real world, right? And going into that project-based learning and make it tangible for students. And another place is here, Biography of Mathematicians. So a lot of times, right, we want to teach about other mathematicians. That's a great way to start with that social cultural competency component, right, of bilingual education. But we don't know where these mathematicians and these historical figures are without having to do a whole lengthy search on Google. Well, need not to search anymore. We can start here with a list, okay, of mathematicians and their biographies. And then you can start with this one and then explore elsewhere. So these are great resources that you can start with. And another one is this book that I'm going to highly, highly, highly recommend. I believe it is like $9 on Amazon. I looked it up this week particularly. And it's called Rethinking Math, teaching math through a social justice lens. And so it gives us more ideas on how to teach math and social justice, and altogether, again, making those connections to the real world for students. Now, I hope that it has been beneficial. We're reaching the end of our webinar, and I want to take just a couple minutes for you, just a minute, if you can share any takeaways. You could do it via the chat, or if you want, you could just unmute yourself and go ahead and share at least one takeaway that you have, that you are going to take from today's webinar, and anything that you're like, oh my goodness, definitely I'm going to try that out, or how are you going to try it out. So I'm going to take a couple of answers, and Erica is going to monitor who wants to share or on the chat.
In the chat, I hear that we're just happy to have more math resources. Thank you so much for the social justice component and how it links to math. I see, oh, it's going so fast, I can't read this fast. I lost my place. But I did see that, I think Jillian unmuted. I think she wants to share, so I'm gonna let her.
I was just about to say, hi Suzanne, it's me, Jillian. Long time no see.
She's my former students, by the way.
Yes.
Long time ago. Oh my goodness.
I can't believe how long ago it's been.
I have a baby now. Can you believe it? Holy moly.
I had no idea. Congratulations. I just wanted to say that it's been a pleasure being here, and I'm actually also back in school for my administration degree. So I'm doing my internship, and the ends of this workshop really hit home to me with the social justice and math, because not only concentrating on content areas is important, but I think this is something 100% I'm bringing to my administration team in regards to the social justice aspect, and I'm definitely including this in my internship project. So I'm excited to take it.
Please stay in touch, okay? Give me a call. Let's chat. And
absolutely, we have to catch up.
Yes, let's do that. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else?
In the chat, we also have a lot about the games. They really like the games and making it fun for the students. I just want everyone to know that all of those links and resources that Susanne has shared with us are hyperlinked in the slides, and I shared the PDF of the slides in the chat. If by chance you didn't see that, please email me and I can share a link of the PDF with you.
Awesome. And so with that being said, if this decides to work, if you have any questions or comments or whatnot, or if you think about all of these stuff, and then because it's a lot of information, and then you take it back and you're like, oh my goodness, I forgot something or whatnot, please shoot me an email. I am more than happy to help you out, or any I think Ines is still somewhere there. She can attest to it, that I will even Ines, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
I'm here.
She can attest that I've even had a Zoom chat with her and helped her out, and I was like, girl, don't worry. She's
amazing. So take her on the offer.
So take me up on the offer, and And yeah, and I wish you the best of luck. I still have two more sessions, right, Erica?
Yes, we have one on Thursday, similar, but talking about the social studies classroom. And then we have one on Monday that those of you who are not administrators here and want to share with your administrators, please do. It's really geared towards them. And well, Susanne, you can probably talk to it better than I can.
Yeah. And even if you're like, for example, Aileen just gave me a great suggestion. Even if you're thinking maybe, in the near future, that might be something you want to do. Or even if you're in what I call the quasi leadership position, those that coaching, and you're like teacher / coach test, or you're the head of the bilingual education committee at your school, or dual language committee, or whatever the case may be. You know what? This is a great place, because we're gonna just talk about how to maintain, how to sustain programs as well, and just talk about the things that you need the foundation, right? We're gonna talk about that, because it's important to know that we need to have these foundations very well laid out, because if not, we're building a house on quicksand, right? And it ain't gonna work. And that's what happens a lot of times with bilingual programs. They're not built on a strong foundation, okay, based on research. And then they build a lot of things, and then a couple of years happen, and well, we haven't seen any success. Well, you haven't seen any success because the foundation wasn't built right. And so it's actually better to build off of a strong foundation than try to fix the foundation afterwards. Okay, so I definitely encourage you, or if you know of any administrator, quasi-administrator, whatever the case may be, I encourage you to join us on the 15th. And like Erica said, on Thursday, we will have very similar to this, but in the perspective of social studies and history, okay? I wish you the best of luck. Please stay safe out there, wear your mask, wash your hands, and social distance and all that. And like I said, I'm here if you need anything. Reach out. And I wish you all the best, and thank you. Gracias.
Those of you who are asking about the link to that other presentation to sign up for it, unfortunately, I can't leave this presentation to add that in there, but please just visit our website. Let me show you that really quickly.
Oh, let me stop sharing.
I think I stole. Did I steal? Okay. So this is obviously Suzanne's. Here we go. Please go to our website. When you go to our website here, you'll find the link to all of our upcoming webinars and how to register for them on my learning plan, just as you did for this one. So I invite you to do that. And then, of course, last but not least, I want to ask everyone to return to my learning plan, not only to register for Thursday's webinar, but also to complete our evaluation. Oops, my screen closed. So let me show you how to do that if you have not done so before. I know many of you have done this already, but I just want to be sure that for anyone who is new and has not, you will go to my learning plan. You will go to the session evaluation and workshop there. Click on this little clipboard, and then you can give us some feedback. We really, really appreciate the feedback. It really does help us plan future webinars and sessions. And it is anonymous, okay? So we thank you so much for that. And again, visit our website, sign up for the webinars, and email me if you were not able to download those slides, okay? I want to make sure to share that because that's such an important part of this webinar are the resources that she's linked. So do not be shy, okay? And
yes, and by the way, I want to say, somebody wrote here, I think it was Paula. Yes, you can go ahead and steal all my ideas. It's all good. Steal away, all right? Put them in your classroom. I give you permission, all right? So steal, go. I call it permanently borrowing. It's not stealing, permanently borrowing, okay? All right, so steal away, go ahead. And I hope to see you soon. And if not, I wish you all the best of luck with everything. And I'm here for you guys if you need anything.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.